Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Well, I'm Ed.
And I'm Sandy.
And this is an intro to one of our videos for Over the Hills 2019. And what I like about this one is it's about friends, special friends. And why are they special? Because we made them on the road. You made a comment one time that we've made more friends on the road than we did all the time we were living
the 20 years that we were living in North Carolina.
In a stick and brick.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and that's true. And these aren't just casual. We're not talking about bumping into somebody at a campground and hanging out with them for the 4 days you're there. This is about friends that we've known. I mean, we've been on the road for 7 years, and these are friends that we've known for years.
And we keep connecting with them.
We do.
Time after time after time.
So, I think that that's an important part of full-time RVing. And so it'll kind of give you some insight. We've made friends on the road, and look at some of the wonderful, fun things we've done together. Hope you enjoy the video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you have any comments or questions or suggestions, that'd be great too. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. See ya.
Take care. From Quartzsite, we had a very short travel day up to Parker, Arizona, which was only about 45 minutes away. We went to Crossroads BLM Campground off of Boulder Dam Road, which is on the California side of the Colorado River. This campground has no services, so we used boondockers in town to dump our tanks and get water. There was a camp host at this campground, and they would let you know which sites were available when you come in. You go to a non-waterfront site first, and when the waterfront sites came available, existing guests would get first dibs on them. She had a waiting list that she kept track of for that. We were offered what we thought was a good spot right off the bat and decided not to go on the waiting list for a waterfront site.
Hey everybody, we are at a BLM campground in Urb, California called the Crossroads. If you like a campground that has campsites that will test the limits of your stabilizers and you love the sound of a speedboat with an inboard marine Chevy 350 with open headers screaming by you at 7 o'clock in the morning, this is the place for you to come. You want to get here. $2.50 a night, $2.50, and you can understand why.
The reason we decided to go to Parker is because we were going to be traveling with our friends Scott and Ariane for a couple of weeks, and they weren't leaving their campground until the end of the month. So we waited here until they were ready to leave. But it did give us a few days to see some things in Parker that we hadn't seen before. We visited Rock House Recreation Area and saw all that remained of the town of Crossroads. During the construction of the Boulder Dam, Crossroads grew to about 2,000 or 3,000 people. Although most of the population was transient and made their homes in tents or lean-tos, the town did have 5 grocery stores, 3 restaurants, a pool hall, barber shop, beauty shop, mortuary, bowling alley, 3 service stations, a church, power plant, and several saloons. This building was the Crossroads Mercantile Company, and this building was used up until 1973. We went down to visit Scott and Ariane at their RV park on the river. Very pretty area. An evening visit from the neighborhood donkeys.
You know, it's probably just the guy in me, but Is this cool or what? These people are from Europe. Yeah. Awesome.
On March 31st, Scott and Ariane were ready to go and we all headed north. We ran into some rain around the Searchlight, Nevada. These statues are on the side of the road just as you're coming into Boulder City. There's a story about the dog, and I'll share that in a little bit. We stayed at Boulder Beach Campground again, and Scott and Ariane were right next door for the first part of our stay there. Ed got some beautiful pictures of Lake Mead. We all visited the Nature Discovery Trail and Rock Garden on the west side of town. This was so fun. Dino, Scott's dog, modeled on the statues, and we got to learn a little bit about each of the animals. There are just a ton of off-road trails, bike trails, and hiking trails in Boulder City. Plenty to keep you busy. I went with Scott and Ariane when they decided to hike the White Owl Slot Canyons. So pretty. We walked about a mile back into the canyon and then back out again. After our hike, we picked up Ed and General and headed downtown to the Southwest Diner for breakfast. Then we wandered around the town of Boulder City. Over the next few days, Ariane taught me how to do tie-dye because I'd never done it before and always wanted to learn. This was so much fun. I know this may look like spaghetti, but this is actually Cincinnati chili. And it's another one of our favorite dishes because it just has so much flavor to it. So we're going to put this recipe up on the website. So if you're interested, take a look. It's really good. We also visited the Hoover Dam area. First, we walked to the center of the bridge that looks down over the dam. Then we visited the gift shop and had lunch in the cafe. Then we walked about halfway across the dam itself. The Hoover Dam construction crew's mascot was found as a puppy by workers at the construction camp. This dog traveled to and from the dam site with them and spent his days visiting the many work areas. On February 21st, 1941, the life of this devoted animal came to an end when a truck under which he was sleeping rolled over him. The grave below was completed by workers later that same day. We were in Boulder City about 9 days. Then Scott and Ariane took off up Interstate 15 toward Yellowstone, and we headed north, catching just the northeast corner of Las Vegas, and then on to Highway 95 to Beatty. We just love Bombo's Pond and the donkeys that walk through about every day.
You know, I'll grant there is traffic on this road. 95 is about it. We're just outside of Beatty. And this is a free spot we're staying in. What a wonderful, wonderful place to stay. And we even have guests that come in and see us.
Our Little Bear friends, Randy and Tracy, stopped by on their way home from Havasu, and we went to Smokin' Jay's for barbecue. Yum! We introduced Tracy to brisket, and she was hooked. The day we decided to visit Death Valley National Park, there were some storms passing through, and it made for very dramatic pictures. And it sure did keep the temperatures down. We've been down in Death Valley several times before, but never saw less than 100 degrees. By the time we got to Badwater Basin, the lowest spot, it had started raining, but I wanted to stop and get pictures anyway. How many people can say they've been in Death Valley when it was raining?
Hey guys, this was our last afternoon at Beatty and up at Bombo's Pond. And so the whole gang came down to say goodbye. It was very fitting. Sandy had a wonderful time. I mean, after all, she's named some of these guys. So, an awesome farewell.
We stayed in Beatty about a week and then continued north.